My Mill tried to name my baby herself. And lost her mind when we picked our own name. I 27F and 34 weeks pregnant with my first baby, and somehow my biggest stress isn't the birth, the nursery, or even the fact that I haven't slept comfortably in months, it's my mother-in-law. She has always been intense and overbearing, but pregnancy seems to have awakened something much deeper in her, something I can only describe as a kind of obsessive entitlement. From the moment we announced the pregnancy, she began referring to the baby as my baby. At first, it seemed like a harmless grandmother thing. But she didn't say it playfully. She said it as if she had an actual claim to the child growing inside me. She would text my husband constantly with things like, "How's my baby today?" Or tell her my baby needs more iron, or make sure my baby gets fresh air. It felt like every time she said it, she pushed me a little farther out of the picture, like I was just the incubator she had to tolerate until her real role began. The real problems started at the 20-week ultrasound. We found out we were having a girl, and before I even processed the news, my mother-in-law clapped her hands and announced, "Then her name will be Camilla, after my grandmother." I gently told her that we hadn't decided on a name yet. She literally waved her hand at me and said, "Don't worry, you'll love it." From that point on, she behaved as if the name had been legally filed and notarized. She crocheted blankets with giant embroidered C's. She bought monogrammed onesies that said Little Camilla. She even told extended family members, "Camilla will be here in March," as if the name had already been stamped on a birth certificate. My husband and I took our time choosing a name, something meaningful to us, something that reflected our story, our family, and my connection to the child I am actively carrying. We finally chose the name Luna Elise. Soft, beautiful, unique. Nothing whatsoever connected to his mother's side of the family, and that was intentional. When we announced it at a small family dinner, her reaction was immediate and dramatic. Her face felt like she'd just heard that someone died. When we said the name out loud, she didn't congratulate us or react kindly. Instead, she said flatly, "That's not her name." I genuinely thought she was joking. She wasn't. She pushed her chair back and launched into a lecture about how the name was silly, unprofessional, and not the kind of name a proper woman should have. She then accused me of disrespecting the family legacy because she had already told everyone that the baby was named Camilla. She might as well have been talking about a wedding she had paid for that I ruined on purpose. She brought up the monogrammed items she bought, the blanket she crocheted, the diaper bag she had customized, all things she did entirely on her own, and told me I was selfish for changing her baby's name without consulting her. That was the moment I finally snapped and told her the baby was not, and would never be, hers. She stood up and said loudly, "Then maybe I shouldn't bother showing up at the hospital if I'm not wanted." Honestly, it sounded less like a threat and more like the best idea she'd ever had. She stormed out, leaving everyone silent and awkward. The next morning she sent an emotional, over-the-top text message claiming she was too devastated to speak, that we had shattered traditions, and that she would be reconsidering her involvement in the baby's life until we showed respect. That same day, she began posting vague Facebook statuses about ungrateful children and broken family honor, which were conveniently screenshotted and sent to me by her own relatives, most of whom privately admitted she was being unhinged. Some of those same relatives are now telling my husband and me that we need to compromise for the sake of family unity, which confuses me more than anything because I didn't realize naming my own child was something that required negotiation with a third party. I'm the one carrying her. I'm the one giving birth. I'm the one who gets ripped apart and stitched back together. And yet somehow, I'm being painted as the problem because I dared to name my daughter something different than the name my husband's mother decided on without our permission. So now I'm sitting here, weeks from giving birth, wondering whether I handled everything wrong by being firm, or whether my mother-in-law is having a meltdown because she lost control over something she never had a right to in the first place. Is it truly unreasonable to expect that I, the actual mother, get to name my own daughter? Am I the a-hole for refusing to name my baby what my mother-in-law demanded, even though she pre-bought items and announced the name like it was her decision? Because if this entire experience has taught me anything, it's that the name Luna Elise isn't just our choice, it's a boundary. And my mother-in-law hates boundaries.